Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, I guess. Welcome to another episode of Cheap Comic Collector. It's episode 465, September 22nd. It's a Sunday. I'm going to try for a little bit of a longer episode today, which I'm starting to do on Sundays. Got a few things to show and share with you. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't. We finally got past that 500 hump, and we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But it's going to be a long haul. I finally started reading the Spirit comics that I got in from Matt. I only read one so far because I haven't had a whole lot of time for reading. And this was a lot of reading. But we'll get into that. Got a cool giveaway to show you. I wanted to go through and show off some of these Disney comic albums. You can see the difference in size here. This is tabloid size. This is a regular comic. Got a bunch of those in from Matt as well. Wanted to show off some of those. And then if we have time, get to this box here. Or start going through this box for the comics that will be in the claim sale this coming Saturday. So stick around. We'll have a lot of fun. Let me get this camera up top, get the old one out of the way. Try to remember to zoom in today. Hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate that. And hope you all have some good comics. Does not want to call. There we go. All right, so this is Spirit, the Origin Years, number 2. It's got 4 stories from 1940. This was published after the regular Spirit series that went on for like 80-some issues. And it reprinted basically the first Spirit stories that Will Eisner did for his Spirit section in the newspapers. So this is number 2. So I believe it published like basically episodes 5 through 8. I assume that the first issue had 4 stories as well. Got a nice cardboard cover. This is published in 1992 from Kitchen Sink. And it's got a really good article in here about Will Eisner and Jerry Iger setting up their shop and for which they produced, comic book material for other publishers, and then how Will Eisner got the opportunity to go out on his own and do the Spirit for the newspaper sections and stuff. Talks about him, his relationship with different people in the industry. It keeps going. This was the start. It goes on to here, and then it goes on to another page as well. Here, and then it still keeps going to this one. And then it's also got a whole bunch of information on each individual story, Will Eisner's thoughts and recollections of it, and so on and so forth. And these are great. These are 10 times better anything being published today. And not just because of the art, but mostly because of the story. Will Eisner was a brilliant storyteller. He puts more story into one of these small stories. You can see he's got 2, 3, 4. I think they're only like 8 pages. No, not even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-page story. And I mean, that's got more story than most modern day miniseries in those 7 pages. And the art's fantastic, but he still hasn't hit his prime yet. These were his early stories, right? So they actually get better as time goes on. But the way it's told and everything kind of reminds me a little bit of The Shadow, where he's like the main character, the spirit, is almost an incidental character to this story. In a lot of cases, where the all the other characters are so well rounded, the story basically revolves around them, and the spirit, lends a helping hand or something. And I mean, look at the art here. It's just, this is 1940, done for a comic strip, basically, that was going to be published in a newspaper. Just, but in a comic book format, and just great stuff. And I can't praise these enough. If you find spirits, especially the original ones done by Will Eisner, grab them. Grab them. That's all I can say. Matt was nice enough to sell these to me for $1 a piece. And I can't foresee them ever leaving my collection. Unless at some point I have no choice and have to get rid of everything. But yeah, these won't be for sale. These are in my reading pile. These will have a permanent spot. They are fantastic. I mean, if you wanted to learn how to do comic books, this would be a master class in learning how to tell a story. And honestly, I feel like the EC comics were very much in this vein, of storytelling and artwork, even the art style, let's look at this panel. I mean, doesn't that, the melting candle and the guy chained and everything, it's just, well, he's not, I guess he's not chained, but the way it's drawn is just, it looks like that. It's fantastic. I mean, he's actually holding a skull here, but the way he's doing it, you don't really notice that that's what he's doing. It's just so much detail and wonderful drawing. And like I said, he hasn't hit his prime yet. This is him still experimenting and learning, and just great stuff. So yeah, there's that. Can't give this enough high praise. Next up, we have the giveaway, which came from Power Hockey Camps, who I also can't heap enough praise on. Great seller on Whatnot. If you guys are looking for sellers on Whatnot, I know a lot of us complain about so many things on Whatnot, but I still keep going back because I can get these cheap comics, and they're getting harder to find on the cheap. But this was actually a giveaway. This is Playful Little Audrey number 104. And Power Hockey Camps, they also have an eBay store. Emails there, your Yahoo email. And I've bought from these guys quite a few times. Great stuff. Great packaging. They rarely have stuff on the cheap anymore because they are such a great seller. A lot of people discovered them. But if you're looking for a good seller, along with Matt, and I strongly recommend you check out Matt. I'm still getting great deals from him. I just bought yesterday, as I record this, I just bought some Bronze Age Avengers from him for $1 a piece. Because basically nobody else is on his channel. I mean, there's a couple people that show up, but if you guys are looking for great deals, that's another great seller. Member of our community here. Also has his YouTube channel. And great guy. I was just wanted to look at this staining on here, see what that's all about, see if that's something that might come off. I don't think it will, but at the same time, it looks like it might. So I'm just going to try a piece of Absirine here to see if it does anything. I wish I had the time and energy to do all the fancy cleaning and stuff that it shows on some of the restoration channels like Jerry the Jitterbug and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a lot of effort for one comic book. And at the end of the day, especially if it's going into my collection, I don't really care that much. I mean, if it's an easy fix, fine. But yeah, it's not like I'm trying to sell them or anything. I just want to enjoy them. So yeah, I got Playful Little Audrey number 104. Again, it's a Harvey. It will be going into my collection, not into the sale. I got it for free. So I don't need to make any money back on it. And I don't really have that many little Audreys. I'm not familiar with, I mean, this isn't really an early little Audrey. It's 20 center, but I'd like to find out more about her. What makes her different than Little Dot or any of the other Harvey characters? I'm not quite, not familiar enough with her to know. So anyway, cool stuff. Great score, especially as a giveaway. You know, a lot of times the giveaways are just, yeah, whatever. This is awesome. So thank you to Power Hockey Camps. By all means, check them out. And then next up we have all of these that I got from Matt. All these Disney comic albums. Awesome stuff. And I thought it would be a good chance to go through them. And actually, they're so big I need to zoom back out a little, or in a little bit, or out, whatever. So, this first batch is from Gladstone. Disney took over later when they got the license back from Gladstone because they thought they could do a better job. But this is actually number 1 of the Gladstone comic albums. It reprints Uncle Scrooge in the Mines of King Solomon. Was originally published in Uncle Scrooge number 19, 1957. And this printing is 1987. That's when they started publishing these. So a couple of years, I think, after they started doing the comics. And they always have like some kind of introduction to the storyline and so on and so forth. The production values, it could be a little bit better, honestly. There's nothing on the inside covers. That you can see there's a half page empty here where they could have at least put an illustration of Scrooge or something. But yeah, this was the first issue. It looks like maybe they kind of did them quick to get them going and so on and so forth. So this front cover, see if there's a, doesn't look like they even credited who did the cover because I don't believe that's a Carl Barks cover. That's somebody else. But anyway, classic Uncle Scrooge story done in a very large format. You know, this would have, it makes for a great read. You can really appreciate the art more when it's done in a big style like this. And not one of my most favorite Uncle Scrooge stories, but still a great story. And then it's got like a one-pager from Uncle Scrooge 19. And then as a backup, they did kind of an oddball Grandma Duck's Farm Friends from a old four-color 1010, which would have been Grandma Duck's Farm Friends would have been the title, I believe, of that four-color. And there's actually also a reprint from Walt Disney Comics and Stories 227 in here with Huey, Dewey, and Louie as Junior Woodchucks. So, yeah, lots of good stuff in here. and they only cost $5.95 back then for an album. Nowadays, that would have they would what would this be, $20? just a regular some publishers, just a regular issue is $5.95 nowadays. So or just about. Second issue is more Carl Barks, Donald Duck in The Terror on the River, and this isn't a Carl Barks cover, I'm pretty sure. It might actually be taken from a page in the story, because they used to do that sometimes. And this one's from 1946. It was 4-color 108, I think. So really early. Donald Duck by Carl Barks. Would have even been before Donald Duck had his own series. And then you got this second story from the same early 4-color. And then a short, quick 2-pager from Walt Disney's Vacation Parade. Or no, a little bit longer. I thought I was not 2 pages, like 8 or 10 pages. All great stuff. All stuff worthy of the printing. And you can see they started advertising their all the albums that were coming up. And I think they did these about once a month, if I remember right. Third one, Mickey Mouse in the Lair of Wolf Barker, reprints. Yeah, this was comic strips by Floyd Gottfredson. These are actually the really early ones. These are from 1933. And it's basically a kind of a Western type where the gang goes out west. You got, at this point, Goofy was still being called Dippy Dog. And you got Horse Collar and Clarabelle Cow in there. And you may have heard me in previous episodes quite a while ago, or read cartoonist interviews where they talk about how the comic strip has shrunk over the years. This format here, this would have been very close to the size that comic strips were printed back in the day when the newspapers were much larger, right? They used a much larger page than they have nowadays. So these appear to have been like possibly stretched and squished to fit the comic book format. But generally speaking, this like 4 panels that go across there, that would have been about the width of a newspaper page back then. So maybe a little bit bigger, but very close to the size that comic strips used to be printed. And you got some more backup strips from back in the day as well. These are Mickey's Nephews. These are from 1932. These were actually earlier than the ones in front. So cool stuff. We got Uncle Scrooge Back to the Klondike in issue number 4. Great stuff. Spine's glue gave out on this one. Needs to be re-glued. If anybody, I have a different one that needs that too, a Spirit album that needs to be re-glued, but I'm not sure what kind of glue to use on it. If anybody has any suggestions on if there's a particular kind of glue I should use, let me know. I'm just I'm not sure. You know, I don't want to use anything that's actually gonna like damage anything or soak through. But I'm not real sure what to use. So anyway, back to the Klondike. One of the most classic Uncle Scrooge stories. They go back to the frozen north to recover a some belongings of Uncle Scrooge, and he remembers his Yukon days. And this is Glittering Goldie's first appearance, if you know who she is. And just awesome stuff. So cool. And another backup from a different issue, but just really great comics in these. Number 5, Sheriff of Bullet Valley, a classic Donald Duck by Carl Barks. This is one of my favorite covers, Disney covers. Actually, you guys have seen this in the background sometimes. I think I showed it one other time. Let me get it off the wall here, but I actually have this one that uses in his later years, Carl Barks did oil paintings. So they used one of those for the cover of this reprint later when they did it in the comic books. And this is actually the one that Carl Barks signed for me. So I actually have this, the only comic I actually have on the wall. And I don't normally care about signatures, but that one's pretty cool. So, and I actually made a copy of this image, found it on the internet, made a copy, put it on a t-shirt, like a do-it-yourself transfer thing. Looked pretty cool, but eventually it wore out really quick. It didn't, those things don't last very long, so... But cool stuff. And then this one, number 7, is titled The Brittle Mastery of Donald Duck. So there's a series of Donald Duck stories where they all have like a similar theme, where Donald Duck is an expert at something. And then usually his overconfidence or something else beyond his control ruins everything for him. and people hate him at the end of the story. Those are fun. But I don't know if putting them all in the same album was it. You know, it's a little what do I say, formula based, since they all kind of follow the same pattern a little bit. I mean, they're still fun. There's different gags because there's different jobs and things, but it's still fun. Number 10, Donald Duck in Ancient Persia, another very early Donald Duck. This one's from 4-Color 275. Uncle Scrooge in the Money Well, kind of a later Uncle Scrooge story. This one is not as late as I thought. This one is from number 21. You can see his money bin, and this one's actually kind of rectangular shaped instead of square shaped, which it normally is. And it's another one of those stories where he's trying to find a safe way to store his money, keep it safe from the Beagle Boys, and of course they figure out what's going on. And I think this is the first album. I have a longer article in this one that starts reprinting like stories from foreign sources. So this is a translated story from the Gutenbergist group, which creates stories for a number of European countries. But check out the art of them in old London or something. Pretty cool. Number 15, we skipped. Did we skip some? Somewhere along the line, we skipped some. They weren't all, don't have all of them in this group. So, Donald and Gladstone, number 15, which is, of course, Gladstone Gander, Donald's ridiculously lucky cousin. So this reprints stories featuring him. I believe these are all by Carl Barks. Oh, no, that one's not. So they put at least one foreign created one in there. Number 16, Voodoo Hoodoo, featuring, this is actually, this is the one that features Bombi the Zombie, which has been put on Disney's do not print list. It's been banned basically because of this depiction. So yeah, this is a great story, and apparently Disney feels they're going to offend somebody by the depiction of Bombi the Zombie. I guess they're afraid to offend zombies. I don't know. I mean, there are some native depictions in here that aren't the greatest either, but unless you're I don't know, there's just no really good reason to ban this story. And again, it's got a very cool foreign story with some great art in this one. Censorship, especially over stupid stuff, just drives me nuts. But number 17, we got Mickey Mouse, The World of Tomorrow. This is another one that's fallen apart on me a little bit. Didn't realize so many of them were coming off. I'll have to get some glue. So if you have glue recommendations, by all means, let me know. So this was a story later in Godfredson's career. You can see the change in the art style somewhat. This is from 1944. So about 10 years after those other ones we looked at. But all classic Disney stories that most people have never read and never seen, unless you're a Disney Comics fan, and most Disney fans aren't even Disney comic fans. And they should be, because this is great stuff. Number 18, Donald Duck and the Junior Woodchucks. This one's got some staining on it, unfortunately. But some great Junior Woodchuck stories. Looks like some foreign reprints and some just a variety of stuff in here. Also some stuff from Carl Barks. This is a classic one here where they're battling, the Junior Woodchucks are battling the littlest chickadees to see who can finish their bridge first. And then this one is number 19. It's got a Don Rosa cover, reprints The Golden Fleecing. And this one's loose as well. Definitely needs some glue. But again, looks like they settled on the format of putting like a foreign story in the back. And then having a classic Carl Barks story. Look at that. Awesome stuff. So cool. And then this one, number 20, Uncle Scrooge and Only a Poor Old Man. It reprints. I was going to say Uncle Scrooge's first appearance, but I don't think so. I think it's the first Uncle Scrooge comic. It's from 4-Color 386. And of course, he first appeared in Christmas on Bear Mountain. But again, this is such a great story. This he's keeping his money in a dam, and the Beagle Boys basically attack and burst the dam, and it's just awesome. Awesome story, so imaginative, and so forth. So we're about halfway through the album, so we're going to keep going. Number 22, we got Mickey Mouse, Sheriff of Nugget Gulch. So another Western from the comic strip, and this was from 1937. And as I said before, this is about the size they would have actually been printed in an original newspaper setting. And they would have reprinted. I mean, it would have been basically a 4-panel layout, 3 or 4 panels per strip. And of course, they combined everything together to make them suitable for comic books. So sometimes it's hard to figure exactly where a strip starts and ends, but usually it's on a cliffhanger or a joke, right? So you got like this and this were probably one strip, and then they added to it to make a bigger panel for a comic book. And same thing here. You got, maybe this was part of that first strip, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's either a joke or a cliffhanger of some sort. And just good stuff. Good stuff. This one, Mickey and Donald, this is a thicker one. This is number 26, and this one was $9.95. So, but you can tell it's thicker. And this reprints the 7 Ghosts. And this is the story that Gladstone printed in their first issues of Mickey Mouse, and it got me hooked on Mickey. This is my favorite Mickey Mouse comic strip story. It's from 1938. And basically, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy go in and investigate a haunted house. And it is so much fun. Great stuff. And I didn't have this one in album format, so I am very happy to get this one. And then they also started doing a giant series. So this is like this is their Gladstone comic album specials, right? So this is Donald Duck Finds Pirate Gold, $8.95 cover price. It was, the prices were all over the place, depending on the size and so on and so forth. But Donald Duck Finds Pirate Gold is the first original Donald Duck comic book story. It's done by Carl Barks and Jack Hanna, and it's based on storyboards from a unproduced Donald Duck cartoon. So a lot of historical value there, and a lot of fun. It's not, doesn't have the story that some of the others did, and there's a big article in here about it. And how some of the gags were like used in other places and things. Just good stuff. Good stuff. And next up, album number 2 is Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck. The Sunken City, it says. Oh, I've read this one. Not this printing of it, but I've read this story before. So the front cover is by Don Rosa, which I didn't quite recognize. He's a little bit off compared to how he usually draws them, perhaps because of the odd profile. But anyway, This is reprinted from Uncle Scrooge number 5. And apparently that's pretty much the only thing in here. So it's a pretty long story. They go to Atlantis. And, oh, there is more stories in here. They just put the credits further back. Okay, that makes more sense. I was going to say, I don't understand why they must have originally planned this to be 2 smaller albums or something, and then they just put them together to make a giant. Because they've got an introductory page and the credits for the first half, and then they have an introductory page and the credits for the second half, including a title page like it's a new, like a whole nother album. So this is Donald Duck, The Luck of the North from 4-color 256. It has Gladstone Gander in it, who's always a favorite. The stories with him in it are always a little bit funnier, seems like. Just the absurdity of the things that happen. And showcase some of this art. Just fantastic stuff for a kid's comic. So yeah, great stuff. Another Mickey Mouse Western. This one is special number 3, The Bar None Ranch. I believe this is by Paul Murray. No, this is the original version by Floyd Gottfredson from the 1940 comic strips. Paul Murray adopted a lot of the Mickey strips for comic book stories, and they were basically rewritten and redrawn to be used in comic books by Paul Murray. So I thought that was going to be that version, but this is actually the original comic strip version. So the front cover is what threw me off because it looks like Paul Murray. It's not done by Paul Murray. It's done by it looks like it was taken from a foreign comic. Front cover by Murad Guman or Guman, something like that. And just fun stuff. Clarabelle gets kidnapped by Peg Leg Pete, and of course she loves every minute of it. And thinks it's very romantic. Special number 6. This is a real thick one. This one was actually $12.95 and features the many faces of Magica Dispel on this cover. And front cover is actually by Carl Barks, but I think it may have been taken from a panel inside. And there's obviously this one features stories featuring Magica Dispel, who is a great villain. But I like her appearances that Carl Barks has done. I don't especially care for a lot of the later stories that other creators made with her. And I think it's just the quality of the writing more than anything. But that's just me. She's a great character. And then another Mickey Mouse comic strip one. This is another really thick one. This story went on a long time. It was in comic strips from August 9th, my birthday, 1937 to February 5th, 1938. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, almost 6 months this storyline unfolded in the comic strips, in the newspaper comic strips. It's called Monarch of Mediocre, and Mickey takes the place of a king. And it goes on, and And apparently it was actually banned in one country. It was banned in Yugoslavia. Apparently some of the story details hit a little too close to home for the current monarchy of that country or something. And then at some point, Disney actually did their album series too. When Disney took over the license back from Gladstone and created their own, they continued the album series. They started renumbering with their own numbering. This is number 4 from the Disney Comics album. Mickey Mouse Outwits the Phantom Blot. And so this kind of reprints the comic strip by Floyd Gottfredson, but it was reformatted for a printing in Mickey Mouse Club Parade in 1955. So the story's originally from 1939. It was kind of redone for 1955, and that's what this printing is. But classic Mickey Mouse, the one everybody remembers that introduced the Phantom Blot. So very cool. So those are the albums that we're going to go through today. I have a few more in my own collection, and these will be going. These will not be in the sales. I'm not going to part with these for $2. A good portion of them I will be adding or upgrading my collection, and then the other ones are already pre-sold to someone else. And let's see, that's about it. We can get into the comics for the sale. Let's see where we are at time-wise. I want to stay about an hour. So we got about 15 minutes to go through some comics for this that will be in the sale come Saturday. Archie's. Little Archie. Number 100. Cool. Jughead, I told you to tell the girls I wanted to date them for Sunday, not Sundays. That's neat. And it always confused me because the certain time period, Archie had the Fawcett label on their titles, and I guess Fawcett was the distributor at some point. I think I've seen that on some Dennis the Menace issues as well. So I always found it interesting that apparently they made them put the Fawcett name on their comics because they were distributing them somehow. But because I think by this point, Fawcett no longer made their own comics, I don't believe. So, but apparently they still probably did like puzzle magazines and things like that. So it still had a distribution network. Got Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica, number 252. Web of Spider-Man, number 8. So early issue, pretty beat, unfortunately. Got a lot of spine ticks, some spine roll. It's definitely got wear and dirt up here, staining, foldovers. Actually, whatever these marks are, looks like somebody tried to take an eraser or something to it, maybe. I don't know what that is. Try and find out. Expect that a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Got some kind of markings on it. Honestly, it does look like somebody took an eraser and just started possibly going at it. You can see the browning at the top mostly, and but it is an early issue of Web of Spider-Man. So back when nobody was used to the new coloring process yet. And here's Spectacular Spider-Man 128. Spectacular 126, got a rolled spine. Spider Woman in there. The Wrecker. Number 110, the Daredevil. Yeah, this is worn too. These are all pretty worn actually. Number 95, that's an earlier issue, and actually this is the best one of all of them. There's no immediate spine ticks that I see. Maybe a little one down here. Doesn't have the wear and stuff that these other ones did. Batman the Dark Knight, number 15. It's Checkmate for Gotham. Oh, that's cool. Nice cover. That's cool. Where at the first glance it looks like they're just playing chess, but then it's the city on the chessboard. That's awesome. Like that a lot. Number 16, Trapped in the Chaos of the Mad Hatter. That's pretty cool too. Interesting cover. Number 18, still with the Mad Hatter. 19, Guardian of Gotham. Number 20, Pulled into Darkness by the Mad Hatter. And okay, one of these must be a variant cover. There's number 21. And again, the color version of number 21. Number 22. Number 29. That's cool. Some great covers on here. Walt Disney's Comics and Stories. What number is this? I need to write it on the board so I know. 459 from 1978. It's got quite a few spine ticks. Got a little, it's a little piece missing, but most of that is like a tape snag or something there. And you see where the pages are tanning quite a bit. But reprint's a great Donald Duck's 10-pager. You got Chip and Dale in here. Mickey Mouse. And I think that's a one-shot. I don't think that's continued. Yeah, that's a solo Mickey Mouse story. I had this one when I was a kid. I remember that cover. I assume it's the one from when I was a kid. They've reprinted the covers many times, but cool stuff. Superman Wonder Woman number 14. Nice cover. That's cool. I don't usually like that kind of an art style, but that's neat. I like that. Here is this is also number 14. So 2015, yep, same issue, different cover. So, it does say variant cover. There it is, Darwin Cook variant cover. I was going to say it was before they started labeling variant covers, but they just labeled it in a different spot. There's number 15 with the Flash. Number 15 again. So apparently this is the Flash 75th anniversary variant. And this is the regular. Superman Wonder Woman number 16, Harley Quinn variant. Number 17. Number 26. And 27. That looks like Batman, not Wonder Woman. They fighting over Wonder Woman. 2 copies of that one. Some kind of color variant. I thought this might be staining down here, but I see they both have that. So that's just the way they did the storm clouds or whatever down there. I don't know. Are these like variants or second printings or what have you? I don't really know. And there's annual number 2. So cool stuff. So a lot of these are romantic covers with Superman and Wonder Woman. Actually, I haven't read any of these, even though I've been trying to put the set together. Where Superman and Wonder Woman actually like hooking up, or what happened to Lois, man? Just wondering. Let's see what else we got here. Flash. Cool. Don't see very many early Flashes are hard to find. But I think mostly it's because they don't sell a lot of the time. This is number 274, 40-cent cover. Thought there was a stain up there, but that's actually on the bag. Does have a little bit of spiral on there, but most of it is just, that's the way it was cut. Same thing here. You got some fold over up there at the top. You got somebody wrote like 25 over the stamp. Makes me want to just completely white it out to make it look better. I guess that wouldn't be a good idea. Some of that tape does not want to come off. Let me just try cutting it. Instead of going through all that hassle of ruining the bag. Yeah, so you can see up here where the page got ripped, a little tiny rip, and got folded over just a little bit. 3 center, number 240, this one is. And big spiral on this one. Let me do a page count on this one. It feels thin. And for some reason there's this staining in here, which I guess it's just the red bleeding through from the other side. That's kind of odd because it matches the design on the back. Huh. Nice Green Lantern backup by Mike Grell and Tex Blaisdell as the artist, Denny O'Neil as the writer. Look at that. That's awesome. And now I got to recount again. Lost count. Yeah, I think it's missing a centerfold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep, centerfold's loose and it's missing the centerfold. Darn. Shoot. Yeah, I'm not even going to put that one in the sale. Nobody's going to want it like that. So if you do for some reason want that one, let me know. But I will, it'll become a placeholder in my collection. Now I got to check all of them and see. And I just Totally ruined this bag trying to get the tape off. I hate that kind of tape. I don't know what it is. I think it's just really cheap tape, but it's super strong. Okay, well that one's all there. And of course, whoever did these put them in upside down as well. This is number 241. Little wear on it. Another great Denny O'Neil, Mike Grell, Green Lantern in the back. So did Green Lantern not have his own title at this point? That's interesting. This is from 1975. 1976 cover date. I'm just gonna look that up real quick. I didn't know. I wasn't aware that Green Lantern like stopped being published. Went from 1960 to 1986. 205 issues. Before it became Green Lantern Corps. Gap in publication between 89 and 90. So from 1972 and 1976, there was not a Green Lantern title. Huh, I did not know that. Cool. I learned something new. And here is number 253, 35-cent cover. Wreck the bag again. The Flash. When the Mulder's finished with you, Flash, they'll have to pick you up with a putty knife. Ever heard of the Mulder? Interesting. He did not make the Who's Who. 1977. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 34, 36, all there. And the 70s were interesting because the heroes would appear randomly unannounced in each other's titles. Like this one has the elongated man in it. And it was just kind of interesting how they did that back then. Double-sized issue of El Diablo, number 1 from 1989. Introducing DC's newest masked hero. Here's an Uncle Scrooge 15 center. This one is number 103. Features the classic Back to Long Ago, which was originally published in Uncle Scrooge 16, and it's, of course, by Karl Barks. Such great art. Just awesome. Awesomeness. 103. Biggest problem with Disney comics is they reprinted them over and over and over and over and over again. Guy Gardner, number 3. 1992. New Guardians, number 2. Guardians of Metropolis, number 1. And there is... it's a big scratch that you can see here, but that's actually on the bag, not on the a comic. And somebody did a hole punch on the bag so they could hang it on a peg. Gunfire, number 4. Mayhem over Manhattan. Freedom Fighters, number 11. That's cool. We should check that one for completeness as well, since we got had that incomplete flash. I can see it's the same kind of tape, so it would have been the same collection. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, all there. That's cool. We got the Saturday morning ad here. And then was flipping through. I noticed this guy. It looks like an Indian that gets large. So I wonder if that was the inspiration for Super Chief on the Super Friends. This was from 1977. And I'm not sure when the Super Friends started, but I think it was a little past that time. But interesting. And some more Flash. This one's $2.42, 30-cent cover. Some spine ticks, but other than that, not too bad a shape. This looks like it's got like a bend in here, a little nick here, and a little corner bend up here. So it's not in the worst of shape, but it does have, once you start looking at it, it's got several things wrong with it. Charge of the Electric Gang from 1976. Oh, there's the ad for the belt buckle, but this isn't one with the thing on the cover is all here, and it's got the Mike Grell, Denny O'Neil Green Lantern story going on back there as well. And here is Flash 247, 5 issues later, now monthly. So Green Lantern wasn't being published, and The Flash wasn't even a monthly before this. Huh. It's got Abracadabra and the Golden Age Flash in this one. It does have a 15-cent stamp that somebody stuck in there, or I think it's 15 cents. Not sure. That might come off if it's the right kind of ink, the way it looks. I'll try. See if I can get that off of there. Oh man, really butchered this bag. I hate tape. Man, don't use tape, guys. Do not use tape. Ban all tape from your comics, no matter where you think it is. If you use the tabs, whatever, trust me, it's not worth it. And you're not sealing the bag. All you're doing is make it so the flap doesn't stick up. When all you have to do is tuck the flap in. Anyway, we have the Golden Age Flash. All there, but no Green Lantern backup in this one, so that must have been after they started planning his own title, probably. See, all you got to do is take the bag, stick the flap in there, just like that. So you don't have to worry about the flap sticking out, and you're all done. That's it. That's all you got to do. Oh, I was going to see if I could get the get this off of there. I don't know if that'll come off or not. I never tried one of those before. But I know some of the like black markings where somebody just wrote on it has come off, so maybe there's a chance that that'll come off. Maybe if you did this for about 5 years, it would come off. It is lightening. It did lighten it up. A little bit, but that may just be taking the dirt off. It's not really taking the ink off of it. So we tried. And this one, 35 center, number 261. The Ringmaster is stealing the Flash's wife. And he's got a secret. And that one's all there too. So looks like maybe that one was the only one that was missing some pages. And here's another old Flash. As long as we're checking, we might as well check all the older issues. I normally check all the older, I used to check all the older issues as they came in, but Apparently I didn't on these bigger lots. In case you're wondering, these were from the same lots that I showed last week that I got from the collective. They're came in at about 80 cents a piece, I think, is about what I ended up paying. All there, and this one's got the Green Lantern back up as well. Oh, this is... Did I already have this issue? That Green Lantern panel looks exactly like the other one I was looking at. I did. It's the same issue. Too bad it wasn't the same issue as the one with the missing pages. Huh. All right, well, we got 2 of those, so that's cool. It's always, when I'm doing the sales and it's something that I think more than one person will want, I'm always happy to see that there's more than one. And this one's Life with Archie. This one's pretty beat up. Got this big stain up here and over here, and a rip up here, and a big spines in much less than perfect shape. Got a big chunk missing out on the bottom of the spine here. A lot of folds all over it. Life with Archie 148, 25 center. It's even missing this bottom corner down here. Or, oh no, it's just folded over very tightly. So that is there, but it's still in a rough shape. Got another little rip here and here. See, this is ripped right there on the edge because of the spine roll, where it was sticking out more. And this corner is about ready to fall off, but it is, I think it's there. It's just sticking out. I don't know if I can straighten that out without just ripping it off or not. I'm gonna try. Oh man, it's like wrapped up and wrapped up and wrapped up. It's bent over so many times there, but it is all there. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 32, 34, 36. So all there. So that's good. Most of these are all there. Just the one was not. So yeah, cool beans, cool stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. We went a little over an hour, but I wanted to show some of those comics, and then I ended up having to go through a bunch of them. So thank you for being here, and please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Let's see, this is a Monday I'm filming this on. I'm going to take a break and watch Razor's latest episode from Razor Comics. And then I will get back to filming this week's episode. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you soon.